Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician. Today we're going to be going back into my Husky 52-inch flat black toolbox. We're going to be doing a toolbox tour. This is going to be part one because I have quite a bit of stuff in here and I don't want to just run right through it. I'm going to kind of go over what I have, the brands I have, my thoughts on them. So we'll do the top half of the toolbox first, what's up in the top, and then through the top half of the drawers. And then in the next toolbox tour, we'll go through the bottom half. And if you guys would like, we can go through my Matco box in another toolbox tour. Let me know down in the comments if you guys would like. That's kind of like my overflow impact sockets that don't get used. It's all stuff that I got during college when I was getting into the automotive field, and then the job that I ended up getting supplied me with all the tools. So that's literally just doubles and triples of everything that I already have, or it holds some tools that are more like specialty tools that I don't use as often. Things that I use all the time, I try and keep in my Husky box. So I just can't get myself to get rid of the Matco box and the things inside of it because, well, I don't want to. So enough talking. Let's go ahead and take a look at my toolbox. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to drop a comment down below. I will also have a couple of links down in the description. It'll say tools and tools continued, I believe. Those are going to take you to a long list of tools that I've either went over in the past in my videos or other tools that I suggest. So that's all there for you. Let's go ahead and get into this. So this is the Husky 52-inch flat black toolbox. They have a couple different variations. I've had this for roughly 8 years. I think I had got it in 2016. So it's doing really well. The only issues I've had with this box are like this little glossy strip trim piece will come off every once in a while because they're just like double-sided taped on there. And with this side, I got sick and tired of it. I ran a self-tapper through there. No issues, stays on. So yeah, that's the only issue I've had with the box, were those little edge decoration pieces. So up top, I have a couple of my steering wheels. They're on some quick releases, so I can just simply grab the steering wheel that I want. And I just keep these up here because I can lock this top box and it kind of keeps these things protected when they're not in use. And then I have one in there already. So getting back to this, over here I'm going to try and run through this as quickly as possible so it's not too long. I just keep some of my flashlights, different lights. This is for my underhood light. I keep the mount up there. And then I have the Astro light back here. Have my coilover wrenches here. A couple of the Tecton's crow's feet and angled wrenches. The Tecton USA made. These are also made in the USA. The USA made punch and chisel, or the punch set with the, sorry, I just made this. I got this from my wife for my birthday, so I spent a little time building this. Thought that was pretty sweet. With the little block that they go in. Then we have the Vera precision screwdrivers. These are the ESD, so they're good for, sensitive electronics and stuff. Couple of brake caliper hooks up in here, a small and large set. My soldering station, the helping hands, because I got sick and tired of the Harbor Freight one. It just kept tipping over and it was kind of annoying, so I got this guy and it's been great. Then I got another light. This one is from Mechanic. It's a magnetic ball light. It's okay. I like the brightness, but even though this seems like a great idea, it constantly, I either knock it off or it falls off and then it ends up rolling away. So it's a good light in its own ways. In this box, you got a couple power strips up here, a couple USBs, 4 outlets on each side. So plenty of power up in here, plenty of stuff crammed up in here. But getting into the top drawer on the left, this is kind of like just a miscellaneous drawer. Anytime this comes with products, cleaning wipes, greases, things like that, I just pack them up in here. These are razor blades, feeler gauges, knife sharpeners, spare keys for everything, knives, all that good stuff, pens, pencils, markers, all that jazz. Nothing too fantastic in there. Moving down, this is kind of screw extraction. These, if you guys follow my channel, have been in here since I bought the box. I had one set of these. I think I bought 2 sets at Harbor Freight. I used one and they immediately started flying apart. Now, don't ask me why I still have these in the box. It's been years and these things have not moved because I'm not going to use them. I don't know why I haven't thrown them away, but those things are dangerous. I do like the wire brushes. They don't last the longest, but they're extremely cheap, so I always just pick up a set because having these little brushes are extremely handy. Just different bolt extractors. This is the Irwin set. This is an old Matco set. And I want to say this one is from Rigid as well. I have a couple different sets, but that's a good set. Left-handed and right-handed drill bits with the extractors. A couple of cheap digital calipers, a Harbor Freight one, and I don't even know what brand this is. I don't even think it has a brand, but and then there's the other wire brushes from Harbor Freight. Always handy to have those around. This drawer is kind of a catch-all for tape measures, different testers, anemometer, infrared thermometer, DVOM, spare batteries, lights for all of our vehicles, code reader, scan tool. Like I said, more spare lights. It just keeps spares of all of that good stuff. This is actually a pretty cool little attachment. This is for if you have a vehicle with pinch welds and you go to use your jack and you don't want to demolish or bend your pinch weld. This is magnetic, and then it's got this harder plastic in here that goes right up on the pinch weld, and this just sits on top of your jack and prevents you from demolishing it and holds the car very well. So that's a nice little attachment. The Solar BA9 battery tester. That's about it for that drawer. Moving on over, the top drawer up here are all of my screwdrivers and things like that. So over here we have the Tecton little stubby. I think you can pick this set of 4 for $6 or $8. Who knows with inflation nowadays. A couple snap-on picks up here, flat picks or spoons, whatever you want to call them, for O-rings and things like that. I use those a lot at work. I just prefer the shorter ones at work. This is one of the longer ones. The Tecton picks, you get a 5-piece set and it's like $20, not on sale. So I think that's a fantastic deal for a USA made pick set. You got one of the Filo made in Japan screwdrivers. I have reviews on all of these as well. This is the Vessel Megadora, but this is the striking one. It has the hex base. Very, very good screwdriver. Some Matco picks, long ones as well. I prefer shorter picks. Longer ones are handy to have, but anytime I don't need the length, I'm obviously going to go for the shorter ones. A couple of my favorite little screwdrivers. These are from PB Swiss. This is the ratcheting one. I love the handles on these PB Swiss drivers. And then I got the stubby as well, and it's got the built-in carousel. Kind of hard to do one-handed, but it's got the carousel, and PB Swiss bits are fantastic, but I refuse to buy them like just a bit set because they're extremely expensive. The best deal for their bits are when they're included with a tool, and this is one of my go-to little screwdrivers because I really enjoy stubby screwdrivers. I have a lot more precision and control with them, so that's really nice and compact. You can get into a lot of tight spaces with that. Bit organizers like this is from Ernst. This is called their Bit Boss. They have other variations. I have a bunch of them in my work truck and absolutely love these organizers, but this is just a few of the leftover pieces, and these are impact sockets that came with one of the sets that I got years ago. Literally never used them, but just keep them up here, and then I'll show you a little bit closer up of the bit set or the Bit Boss. The other thing that's nice, it's just like the other Ernst rails. You can push the button and slide this entire rail out of the tray, so it's really nice. These are the gear wrench. This is the 20-piece master screwdriver set. I've had this for a very long time. They've held up very well. I'm very pleased with these. They have replaced these with the new like goldish yellow, orange handle, orange and black handle, which has a slightly different shape to it. I do like the design, but these were priced much better. Now, if you find these, normally they have the price on these pushed up and the new version lower. So it's kind of making people purchase the newer stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with the newer stuff, but I like the red and black. So you get a couple stubbies, you get a few precision screwdrivers, and then you get a couple Torx, which I believe are T15 and T20. And then one side is going to be all Phillips, and then the other side is going to be all flathead or slotted screwdrivers. And honestly, they've performed very well. It comes in the blow molded case, and
I don't know how it would hold up if you're constantly like moving it around, but so far this little plastic organizer has just sat in this drawer and it's performed just fine. Then over here, same type of blow molded case. This is their hook and pick set. It comes with 4 smaller picks. They're a little bit thinner than like the Tecton, so they're not quite as strong, but still good picks, especially for the price. I want to say this I paid something like maybe $70 for. This one was maybe, I want to say mid-30s, close to 40. And then same thing with this scraper set over here. I don't use this too often. When I did a couple engine rebuilds, I used it for gaskets and stuff, but you got to be careful because these are sharp, especially if you're working with aluminum. But you get the 4 smaller picks here, and then you get your larger ones here, which are going to be really nice for removing like radiator hoses and things like that. So just nice. I don't use these as often, but they are extremely nice to have these larger picks as well. And then just a quick look at the scraper set. You get a couple different widths of scrapers and lengths. This was just thrown in here. I think you can get a different size set. This is just what I got. It's the 4-piece set. This was always open. I don't know if they offer a 5-piece set. Didn't really matter to me at the time because I was really only interested in like 1 or 2 of them. But for the price, I was just like, couldn't pass it up. This is the Vessel Wood Compo, made in Japan. And this is probably one of my favorite screwdrivers ever. It's a dual material. It's like a resin and wood mix. It's striking. It's extremely comfortable. And the tip has held up very, very well. All around a fantastic screwdriver. I wish they offered this handle design with other features like the hex bolster and, you know, like how they have their fancy tip and things like that. But overall, absolutely love this screwdriver. And I was purchasing, if you guys haven't watched the channel, I was purchasing different brand screwdrivers to do reviews on, to compare them to each other. And this one was personally probably one of my favorites. Moving down, because we got a little bit to go through still. This is kind of one of my electrical drawers. I keep diag stuff in another drawer over here in my Matco box. But just some zip ties, heat shrink, the Harbor Freight miniature plier set, which has actually performed really well for me. For light duty work, they work just fine. Here's a Southwire USA made wire stripper, the Nyko kind of snap-on knockoff, which it performs really well, except for the main part that I bought it for, this crimping portion. You see that square cut portion? That thing will demolish a cheap, like if you get the Harbor Freight butt connectors, that little square cut will demolish one of those connectors. So I either need to go in and sand down the corners so they're not so sharp, or you can just buy a better set that isn't quite so. It's because it's sharp and it's small. The more higher end ones, it'll be a little bit larger piece here and it won't have as sharp of a corner. But overall, still decent wire strippers and crimpers. These are just ones that I've had around for, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I bought them, I don't know, with a electrical set from AutoZone or O'Reilly's or Advanced a long time ago. But they're cheap ones, but they've always done the job and I haven't had any issues with them. I always keep different styles on hand because depending on the situation that you find yourself working in, different shapes and different sizes and where the strippers are located, whether that be top or bottom, and same thing with the crimping portion. So I have some with crimping on bottom, crimping on top, and stripping on top, stripping on bottom. These are from Fujiya. These are really nice. They have the crimper at the bottom, but once again, this one is cut the same way as that cheaper set. And this is one of the only Fujiya pliers that I have that isn't made in Japan, and you can just tell when you have a pair of pliers made in Japan and when you don't, because every tool that I've ever owned from Japan has been extremely high quality and the fit and finish on them are extremely high. Over here we have some Matco, your standard design strippers and crimpers. The Vessel shears, these things are fantastic. If you don't have shears, whether that be something like this or something like some medical shears, just having something like either one of these around in the shop or garage is fantastic. A little tester. Over here we have my AN adjustable wrench. This is from Evil Energy. I bought this back in 2017. it saved me from having to buy an expensive multi-piece AN wrench set. Then just some miscellaneous, caps and wires and stuff. Thing of butt connectors, thing of heat shrink. These are the solder connectors. These things are fantastic. I absolutely love these connectors. It's got heat shrink and solder built into it, and they're just fantastic. This is just a cheap set of step bits. I use one of them at work and alongside a Harbor Freight one, and they both do just fine for thin sheet metal. This is the case for my good Matco digital caliper, which I keep over on my workbench, and then just some electrical tape. My other heat shrink and all of my other items are over here. Just keep a bunch of heat shrink down here, lugs, grommets, things like that. So getting into the last drawer, I promise I'm going to run through these really quick. So over here on the front left, we have my lineman pliers. I am not one that uses lineman pliers very often at all. We have channel locks. We have the gear wrench. This just came in a set. And then we have the Fujiya. These Fujiya ones are extremely nice. They have a crimper built into the base. These ones are made in Japan and extremely high finish. I think this is called their diamond cut blades. All around a really good set of lineman pliers. Just the old vice grips. Then I have the Milwaukee ones, and I actually really enjoy these Milwaukee locking pliers. I have the long nose ones as well, but they're in one of my Vito bags. Over here we have the large set of tongue and groove pliers from Gear Wrench. Once again, these all came in a set. This is the Tecton USA made tongue and groove plier, the Bostitch and DeWalt. They're both the exact same. It's got that push button lock, kind of like your knockoff Knipex, but it does have a thinner body and a much thicker button over there compared to your Cobras, which have a much heavier duty material, better build quality, and a smaller button. But once again, if you're a weekend warrior DIYer, these I haven't had any issue with. I haven't done any extreme heavy duty work with these, but they've been just fine. These are the Ulsa Tools made in Germany pliers wrench. I also have a smaller pair of the Knipex. Over here are my Knipex ones, just a little bit smaller set. Suspension adjustments. I mean, really, so many uses with this. Fantastic tool. Definitely worth the money. We have the Tecton USA made angled nose. These are called the nut jaw pliers, also made in the USA from Tecton. The Tecton old duck bills, these are no longer made. I bought these 6-7 years ago, if not more. Still nice little set of long reach duck bills. The Knipex long reach long nose pliers. These have so many features and are built so well. I think I picked up both the straight and the angled set for, I want to say it was $70, and this was 5 years ago. And I have yet to be disappointed by a set of Knipex pliers. The first ones I bought were the Harbor Freight ones, which are still fantastic. I use them all the time. While they're not the best pliers in the world, they're extremely affordable and still get the job done. Every tool has its place. Hose pliers from Harbor Freight, the 3-piece set, and I use these for hoses, but also electrical connectors, the ones that you got to pinch on both sides. Not only is it nice that you can pinch both sides of that connector at the same time, but you have long reach, so when they're in a dumb spot, you can easily access them with these. Then I have the Gear Wrench Double X, which honestly, I don't really use these. I thought they were going to be really handy, and honestly, I just find myself grabbing the Knipex. Some long Tecton diagonal side cutters, very cheap. They're no longer made. Tecton kind of discontinued all of their cheaper end tools over the years, and that's just one of them. But even though they're not the highest quality, they still get the job done when I need a long reach diagonal side cutter. Then I have my snap-on slip joints, my Tecton slip joints, my SK slip joints, which I love that flush pivot point. Absolutely love these pliers. Channel lock slip joints, the Diamond Duluth slip joints. These were my great-grandfather's. And all of the ones I just showed you, every single pair were made in the USA. And then over here, I have the Van pliers made in Japan, screw extraction slip joint pliers. And these are fantastic. I love these little ones. But if you're thinking about getting some screw extraction pliers, just buy the engineer ones. they're a little bit more affordable. They're the exact same things, just normally with green handles. Then over here in the corner, I have a set of lightweight Fujiya slip joint pliers. These are made in Japan. These are for light duty use only, but they are extremely light and extremely small and great for compact areas. So still a great set of little slip joint pliers. It's part of their Kurikan lineup. This is one of their screw extraction pliers from Fujiya, not made in Japan. Fujiya doesn't have all of their products made in Japan. Like this one, I think this one's Vietnam or something like that. I don't know, but it's decent quality. Definitely not the same as their Japan-made tools, but still. Here are some more Van pliers. This is their standard set. Then I have the Knipex twin grips, which I put off buying these for so long just because I had the Van pliers. But man, if you're looking for some really good screw extraction pliers, these 5-way locking adjustable. This is like a slip joint on steroids. You got 5 locking positions, the dual opposing teeth, and screw extraction. I mean, these things are a fantastic set of pliers. Long nose Van pliers, screw extraction, Fujiya long nose. I'm just going to show them to you real quickly. He's got splitters and strippers and open jaw. This is kind of like a multi-use long nose plier. Here's some channel locks, some Knipex, the Knipex angled. These are from Capri, and these are actually made in Japan as well from Clinge, but they are no longer sold and I cannot find them anywhere. But these are some fantastic snap ring pliers, and it comes with 2 internal and 2 external, and I think I got that for $100 for the 4. And then I have the old Tecton ones, a little bit smaller than the Capri, good for smaller stuff, but I believe these are discontinued as well. These are the gear wrench clip pliers, and honestly, if you're going to get them, just buy them at Harbor Freight. I believe they have the exact same thing. Then down here we have the Fujiya made in Japan flush cuts, and this has the catcher in the back, so when you cut a zip tie, as long as you keep them compressed, it will actually hold on to the zip tie that you cut off so it doesn't go flying. And then I just have a bunch of other miscellaneous flush cuts here, Carlisle, Play-Doh. Here's a larger set from Fujiya. These things will cut through some large zip ties and like hangers, heavier plastic. You're not supposed to use these on metal, but these flush cuts, easy work of anything I've needed them to. Then the Knipex miniature bolt cutters. I bought these thinking that I don't know what I'm going to use these for, but I was on a kick with buying Knipex at the time, and man, I cannot tell you, I was extremely surprised on how well these work and how often I'm constantly using these things. These things are fantastic. Trust me, you'll get some use out of them. Some miniature Knipex tongue and groove. And then over here I have the channel lock end nippers, Fujiya diagonal side cutters with the crimper in the base, Knipex diagonal side cutters, Southwire USA side cutters, and the channel lock diagonal side cutters, and a smaller set of Knipex diagonal side cutters. So I have more than enough pliers, as you can obviously tell, and another bit boss up here from Ernst, just kind of some overflow stuff. But that is it for the top half of my toolbox, and we took plenty of time doing that, so hopefully I can edit this down to around 20 minutes, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to drop a comment down below, and I will do my best to answer it. Once again, those links will be down there for you as well. Stay tuned for part 2, where we will go through the bottom half of the toolbox, and then if you guys would like, we can do the Matco overflow box and my 2 work bags as well, if you guys are interested. Other than that, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.